Hi, and welcome back to the Budget Office's video series on the difference between city and county funds. This video will cover city revenues and expenses for the City General Fund, so if you are a resident of Kansas City, Kansas, this is for you. Before we get started, it is important to note that this video will include only the City General Fund, as opposed to all city funds, which were covered in other videos. If you haven't seen the videos on all city funds, you may want to go back and watch those first. This video will only focus on the City General Fund because the UG sets the mill levy for this fund and has the most flexibility to change it and adjust revenues and expenditures. The City General Fund represents funds not required to be held in a different fund by law. Now that we have that covered, let's get started. Let's start with city revenues for the City General Fund. This pie chart shows City General Fund revenues broken down by revenue type for 2022. As we can see, the largest revenue source is taxes, but there are also revenues from permits and licenses, intergovernmental revenues, charges for service, fines, forfeits, and fees, interest income, miscellaneous revenue, reimbursements, and other financing sources. Let's explore taxes further since it is the largest slice of the pie. For the City General Fund in 2022, 38.7% of tax revenue comes from general sales and use taxes, 30.1% from gross receipts business taxes, 2.8% from other taxes, 0.7% from delinquent taxes, 5.9% from selective sales and use taxes, and 21.7% from general property taxes. Now let's explore expenditures for the City General Fund to see where this money goes. This pie chart breaks down City General Fund expenditures by functional area. As we can see, the largest functional area for the city is public safety, followed by community services, public works, general government, internal accounts, judicial services, the mayor and commission, and other programs. We can learn more about the services provided by the city by exploring some of these functional areas further. For example, when we look at public safety, we see that the police and fire departments make up the vast majority of this functional area to the city. That is opposed to the county side, where public safety is made up of the sheriff. Let's go back and look at more. When we look at community services, we see a variety of departments that serve the city through the City General Fund. These include the Neighborhood Resource Center, which takes care of property maintenance and enforcement and houses livable neighborhoods, among other things. Parks and Recreation, which maintains parks and provides recreation services to the city. Transit, which provides transit services to the elderly and people with disabilities, among other things. Urban Planning and Land Use, which manages planning and zoning for the community. Economic Development, which works to grow our city economy, among other things. The Human Services Department, which provides services to those in crisis, among other things. And finally, we have Community Programs, which covers a variety of fund transfers and other expenses for community programming and related expenses. Let's go back and explore more. Notice that Public Works has a much smaller slice of the pie when only taking into account the City General Fund. That is because a lot of public works funding comes from enterprise funds, which aren't included here. Enterprise funds are kept separate because they run more like a private business, where user fees cover the costs of providing service. When we just look at the City General Fund portion of Public Works, we see that a large portion is made up of solid waste management, which handles residential trash pickup, among other things. Public Works also handles street maintenance for the city and buildings and logistics, which maintains city buildings. Let's go back and look at more. General government is a functional area that houses administrative departments for the city and county. These departments include Knowledge, the Operations Business Office, Unified Government Clerk, Unified Legal Department, County Administration, Finance, General Services, and HR. Let's go back and look at more. Internal accounts houses city long-term debt, among other things. The city's general fund's long-term debt goes toward paying off city projects in areas of streets, facilities, traffic engineering, parks and recreation, bridges, and community projects. That is all for this video. Thanks for watching, and please visit our OpenGov website to explore more of these topics on your own.